So we're here with Professor John Kay. He's a prolific writer. He writes for the Financial Times. He's taught at the London School of Economics, London Business School, Oxford University. He's also served as the director of said Oxford Business School. And that's just some of his achievements in life. Professor John Kay, thank you so much for being here with us. Firstly, what I'm most interested in is that you've spent a considerable time of your life studying, researching and teaching economics. Most people might argue that economics is a subject that's so heavily based upon assumptions and models that are purely hypothetical, and then they come to be very limited when they're used on a practical scale. What is it about the subject that has kept you interested all your life, and what do you believe, why you believe it's something important for students today to develop their skills and understanding in?
Yeah, I mean, almost what's the most important aspect of my career from that point of view was getting involved in economic consulting and setting up an economic consultancy business and growing that. And what that really taught to me, probably more than any other activity in my life, was on the one hand the limitations of economic models, and yet the variety of ways in which one could use them. And what I've come to realize then is that as economists we have to be immensely pluralist. That is, we want to make use of models, but there isn't a model that gives us the right answer to all questions or even any questions. Models have to be subject specific. We need to have a kind of toolkit of models. I think a lot of people who are studying economics today think and are taught that economics is kind of a set of techniques in search of problems. Actually, for me, economics is a set of problems, and the techniques then follow from that.
That's a brilliant answer. I reconcile that you need to have a greater interdisciplinary understanding of phenomena that occurs in the world. So economists has to essentially work together with psychologists and sociologists, anthropologists, all sorts of different people from different backgrounds.
I think that's right. It's not just, it's different models from within economics as well as models from other subjects. But an example I use sometimes was when we did a talk with a group of anthropologists about what economists and anthropologists could say to each other. And we went to the pub afterwards and someone bought a round of drinks. And we got into speculation as to why people buy rounds of drinks. And I offered the economic explanation, which is it's to reduce transactions costs.
Yeah.
And someone else offered the anthropological explanation, which is this is ritual gift exchange. And I then proposed, well, why don't we do an empirical test? Is it good or bad to buy more drinks than you have bought for you? And the economists thought it was bad, and the anthropologists thought it was good. Now, the real lesson from that was that both had elements of the explanation of why people go in for this kind of behaviour. There is an element of gift exchange. There is also an element of the transactions cost explanation. Both of them contribute to an explanation, but neither of them are, as it were, the true explanation. And to understand human behaviour, we have to approach it in that kind of way.
Right. So, talking more about what you've discussed today at the conference, would you like to give us a summary of what you were talking today at the discussions of what the duties of financial institutions in reshaping the global economy?
Yeah, well, my thesis was essentially that what we need is a financial system that is much simpler and narrower and smaller and more robust than the one which we've developed over the last 20, 30 years. And for me that means creating institutions that are smaller and more specialist. I think a lot of what we heard in the panel, the regulatory thrust, is stabilising essentially the structure of existing institutions. And I think that's actually the opposite of what we really need.
Professor Kay, thank you so much for being here with us. It was a pleasure speaking to you.